All right, everyone. It is day 3 of Spirit Week. Woo! We are all ready to go learning in our fancy outfits. I hope you have yours on like I do. I know when I put on a fancy outfit, it makes me feel all brand new and nice and good. I hope it does the same for you. If you don't have it, you can pause this video and go get your fancy outfit ready. Be sure to send those pictures and videos to your teachers. I can't wait to see all of the different outfits that you guys are going to have. Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday. Today is April 29th, 2020. You guys have been doing such an amazing job writing all sorts of letters this week to show your community how much you care about them. I've been so impressed, and I know your teachers have been too, by the amount of details, the amount of love, the questions, and the time that you've put into these letters to show someone how much you care about them. We've written friendly letters to check up on them. We've written thank you letters to show our appreciation. And today, we are going to show our care by writing get well letters. When you know someone who has gotten injured, which means hurt, or has gotten sick by any means, one way you can show them you want them to feel better is through a get well letter or a get well card. And when you send them that get well letter or get well card, it makes them feel warm and loved and special. Think about a time, right now you could take the time and close your eyes. Think about a time when you were sick or when you got hurt and how you felt. When you've got it, you can open your eyes. Right, so Miss Andrews is thinking of a specific time when she broke her ankle in college and she had to get surgery. Okay, didn't feel so great. I felt really alone and worried, right? Now close your eyes again and think about the people that you love, closest to you, what they did to make you feel better. When you've got it, open your eyes. Yeah, so there were lots of ways when Miss Andros had to get her surgery that people made her feel better. They took time to eat with her. They talked to me, right? But not only that, they wrote me get well letters. I still have some of them today in a special box. It made me feel like they wanted me to be happy and healthy again. And that motivated me to listen to what the doctors were saying and to do everything possible to get back to my full self. All right? We're going to do that today. All right, come on. Okay, now we've been noticing that in different types of letters, there are certain parts you must always have. When it comes to a get well letter, you want to uplift the person. You want to encourage them. You want to make them feel good, okay? So we're not focusing on how sick they are. We're focusing on making them smile and feel good on the inside, okay? So there are lots of ways you could do this. You could use some of the sentence starters I put up on the screen. I hope you get better soon. I wanted to write to encourage you to get better soon. I'm sorry to hear that you are not feeling well. Get well soon. You are strong. I believe in you. You got this. There are different ways, and it's awesome because each of them are going to speak to who you are and your special bond with that person. Even if you don't know them, there could be a special care there. So before we start writing, we have to make sure we have our pencil. Miss Andrews has her pen, but you're going to make sure you have your pencil. And your letter paper. It should look like this. Again, yours does not have the words, but you can write these in to help you out. When you write a letter, you're always going to have your 5 parts. Let's do our song for today. The 5 parts of a letter are easy to remember. Head and greeting, body, closing, signature. Parts of a letter, parts of a letter, parts of a letter, parts of a letter, parts of a letter. All right, make sure you have all of that ready, and we'll get ready to get started. Okay, so real quick before we get started, you want to make sure that your letter paper is set up like this so that you have enough room to fit your 5 parts so that it's easy to read. Okay? It should look exactly like this. You're not writing the heading and the greeting all on one line. You're not writing the body, the closing, the signature all together. You want to set it up separated like this. Each one has its own part and own space so you can read it clearly. Make sure you're doing that. When you're writing this red line on notebook paper, whether it's a paper like this or one inside of a notebook, this line is here to remind you that that's where you start writing. So you start here and you fill the whole line across. I've noticed some friends are writing in the middle, and that's not okay. You are writing from the beginning all the way to the end, and when you finish, then you move to the next line. Thumbs up if that's fair. All right. Now to get started, you need to decide who you're going to write your get well letter to. Now, the awesome part is that right now, there are people in the world that are very, very sick, right? That's why we're all inside of our homes and we can't go outside because we have to keep each other safe and protected. There are many people sick in their homes and also in the hospital. You could choose either someone you know or you could choose someone you don't know, and when you take a picture and put it on your Seesaw page, if you choose to write to someone you don't know, your teacher can send them to me and we can actually send them to the hospital to make sure those people get them so that they can smile and feel better. So I'm going to leave it up to you. You could write to a friend, you could write to a teacher, you could write to someone you know. You could choose someone you don't know, whether it's a kid or a grown-up, okay? It could be sick not only with the virus, but it could be a different kind of sickness, or even if they're just not feeling well in general. Take some time, choose your person now. I'm going to choose mine, and then we will start. All right, you have your person? Okay. We're going to start with our heading. Our heading is where we put our date. So today is Wednesday, April 29th. And again, you can write it out in words, which adds a fancy touch to the letter, or you could do the month/date/year. Like this. Okay, now we're moving to our greeting. Our greeting is where we address the person we are writing to. Remember, this usually starts with dear. I chose my friend's mom. Her name is Silvana, and she is actually sick with the virus. I've known her for almost 10 years, so I really care about her. And I'm going to write my get well letter to her. So I'm going to start with Dear Silvana. You're going to write yours. Remember, you're putting that comma so that your reader takes a breath, like, Dear Silvana. Should look like this. Okay. Now the best part, the body. The body. You are making sure when you write, writing is thinking. So I want you to think as if this person were right in front of you. What would you be saying to them? I know some of you have thought, I don't know what else to write, I don't know what else to say. But if you were right in front of this person, what would you say to them? That's what's going to go into the body of your letter, okay? You're having a conversation with them with the hopes that they continue it and write you back. So when I want someone to feel better, I am asking how they're doing because I might not know just yet, right? And we know that when someone asks how we're doing, it shows signs of how they care about us. So I'm going to start off and say, how are you doing? And again, this is just how I'm starting mine. You are thinking of your own questions as you write to your person. And in asking how she's doing, I'm thinking back to how I felt when I first heard she was sick. It made my heart beat really fast, and I got really worried because I just want her to be okay. So I'm going to tell her how I really feel, but still keep it positive. So I'm going to say, when I first heard you were sick, I was so sad. I just didn't know what to do. And that's honest, right? Okay, now I'm going to cheer her up. And I'm going to say, but then I thought of how strong, I'm going to write that in all capital letters because I really want her to know how strong she is. How strong you are. And when you write it in all capital letters, it shows that you're putting expression on it, right? Like strong. That's how I would say it, and so that's how I'm writing it. Thought of how strong you are. And I know that Silvana, sometimes she keeps going and going and going and keeps working hard, but I want her to listen to what the doctors are saying so that she can get better in no time. So I'm going to say that. Then I thought of how strong you are. Please make sure you're following what the doctor says. So you can get better. Remember, and again, I'm trying to uplift her spirit. Remember, you got this. I believe in you. This will make you more powerful. Right? Because once she heals, she's going to be stronger than ever. This is my letter so far. And I'm going to finish. So I asked how she was doing. I said honestly how I felt when I heard she was sick. Now I'm cheering her up. And then I'm going to close out with what I'm feeling again. So right now I can't see her, right? Because she's sick. And that might get me or others sick. But I can't wait till we can see each other so that we can be reunited, right? So when the quarantine is over. So I'm going to say that. I'm going to say, I can't wait until quarantine is over and I can see you again. Okay, now I put it on that line because I didn't have enough room. But now I'm gonna say sending you lots of love. Again. Making her feel warm and special. Almost like I'm giving her a hug in person, right? And now we're at our closing. Our closing, remember, this is the part where you tie it with a bow. You could say, best, truly, sincerely, love always, thinking of you, okay? Now, I think about her all the time, so I'm going to say, thinking of you. And your closing is the opposite of the greeting, but it goes in the same way. I'm going to put it with a comma so that your reader pauses before they read who it's from. And your signature is just your name, so I'm going to write Miss Andros. And this is my get well letter. I'm going to read it and see, and I want you to think as you read your letter to yourself, if you were the person reading this letter, how would you feel? That's going to help you write a really good letter. Thinking about if it were you, what would you want someone to tell you? So here I go. Wednesday, April 29th, 2020. Dear Silvana, how are you doing? When I first heard you were sick, I was so sad, I just didn't know what to do. But then I thought of how strong you are. Please make sure you're following what the doctor says so you can get better soon. Remember, you got this. I believe in you. This will make you more powerful. I can't wait until quarantine is over and I can see you again. Sending you lots of love. Thinking of you, Miss Andros. Aw, that would make me feel so good. All right, so that's all for today. Again, when you finish, take a picture, upload it onto your Seesaw. Make sure you're starting at the top of the line and going all the way across before you go to the next one. Make sure you're writing nice and neat. Make sure you're including that punctuation, guys. This is not all one sentence. Okay? And be thinking of how it flows like a conversation. All right? Now, the last thing I'll say is when you write a get well letter, this person may not write you back. the purpose of writing this letter is to make them feel good, right? So in this case, you might not get a letter back, or you might, depending on how that person feels. All right, I can't wait to see all the beautiful letters that you guys write and come up with, and maybe some we'll get to send to people out there in the world that we can just brighten their day and brighten their lives. Great job. Until tomorrow, have a great day learning in your fancy clothes.